Okay, here's today's dinner. It's cheap and it's easy and it's really good. It's something that just kind of got made by happenstance when we were in high school by a friend's mom, when she was just kind of like what kind of whipped together, and it's been a favorite ever since. I've been cooking it for my family and their families have been cooking it for their families, and it's really good and it's pretty easy. But if I hand you these ingredients, some chili, some olives, mushrooms, hamburger, tortillas, and cheese, what do you think you're gonna come up with? Well, we call it burrito casserole. You call it whatever you want. But what you do is cook up some ground beef, take about 4 or 5 cans of your favorite chili. Ours is Nally. We live in Kansas now. We're from Idaho. We can't get Nally chili. I literally pack this stuff. I take an extra suitcase when I go home and I buy a case of it and fly it home with me. That's how much we like it. But the idea is get the chili that you enjoy the flavor of. This is what we enjoy. I like to add extra things because she did when she made it 30 years ago. Olives and mushrooms. And then we have tortillas. So like I said, it's called burrito casserole, but it's really just chili rolled up in tortillas so that you get your bread and chili all together in a casserole, and it's really good. It's one of those meals that it's much better the day after too, as leftovers. So if we make it one night and everybody's kind of full, totally fine with me. If I make an extra batch and we freeze it and then we cook it another day, totally cool because it tastes better the second day. So anyway, so what is very basic, we're gonna start with, we're gonna cook up some ground beef, about a pound. This is more than a pound. And then I'm gonna warm up the chili. I'm gonna add the two of those together. I'm gonna also warm up the olives and the mushrooms, or whatever it is that you like to put in to your chili. If you like something a little spicy, you're gonna throw some jalapenos in there, some extra beans, whatever you want. Just bulk up your chili base. And then we're gonna take the tortillas, roll them up, put them in a casserole dish, reserve some of that chili concoction back, and we're gonna smother it, cover it with cheese, throw it in the oven, bake it just to get the cheese and everything melted, and then wait for it to cool down a little bit and serve it up. Like cut it like a casserole, or you cut it like enchiladas, whatever you need to do. And then we add sour cream, and I put some hot sauce on mine, and it's fantastic. So before we start all of this, we want to turn on the oven and preheat it to 350. Now, of course, I cook my ground beef in bacon fat. I keep it in this little thing right here on the edge of my stove. I do not refrigerate my bacon fat. It just sits here. You have a little lid on it. It sits back like that. And then if you don't have one of these yet, you should get one. So they're pretty handy. Use some hamburger smashers. Smash it up. So I'm going to add salt and pepper and a little bit of garlic and some onion and stuff to this. I don't know if you do this, but salt in a little bowl, super handy because you have way more control over how much is coming out than you do when you're shaking it out of a shaker. So I'm going to cook all this hamburger down, drain off the extra fat, and then I'm going to put these in a pot, and then I'm going to add the hamburger to this and the mushrooms and olives. So we're warming up the chili, the mushrooms, the olives, get it nice and hot all the way through. We're going to add the drained hamburger, cooked hamburger to it. So everything's going to be hot. And the only thing that we're going to need to do is wrap all of this stuff up in the tortillas, put it in a casserole dish, smother it with the remaining amount, cover it with cheese, pop it in the oven to let it all melt. It takes probably about 10 tortillas to fill up this. The most important thing is to make sure you hold back enough to smother it with, because there's nothing worse than getting it all rolled up and then looking back at your bucket, your pot of chili and going, oh no, there's nothing left. Because then when you cook it, if you don't smother it, the tortillas will get hard, and it's not the casserole that you want. Well, maybe it is. It's not the casserole I want. I like to have mine totally smothered. I don't want any tortillas showing, and then cover it with cheese. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm just kind of rounding up all of the cheese that I have in my fridge, and I'm gonna use the shredded cheese that I have, and then I'm going to shred just a little bit more. That last little bit of cheese, just eat it. Now here's what I buy. I mean, the brand is whatever, but the burrito size is what you want. And 8 to 10 of them will fill up a pan pretty easy. This hamburger is looking pretty good. I'm gonna let it cook for just a couple more minutes and make sure I got it broken down. Did you see how easy with this thing? It just crushes it and crumbles it into little pieces. I just carefully strain my hamburger like I would a pasta. Being careful not to burn myself. So I'm just gonna add it right in there. So pretty simple. So keep it stirring. Warm it up. So you just kind of got a pot of mushrooms, olives, ground beef, and chili. I think I put 5 cans in today, and then I just 1 can of the other extra stuff. And it was about 1.8 pounds of hamburger, I think is what I ended up putting in there. So almost 2 pounds, not quite. So what I'm gonna do is I just kind of wiped out my pan that I cooked the hamburger in, and I'm just gonna take some of this chili and I'm just gonna pour it into there. I have my burner off, and I'm just gonna pour it into there. Just to make sure that I have some left over to smother it. So now we start the process. So here goes the burrito casserole part of our chili. So I just kind of like get myself staged. Sorry, I wouldn't have all these dirty or clean dishes here, but you know, I've mentioned before that I cannot cook with a sink full of dirty dishes. So I had to wash them really fast and then cook this dinner because my family's actually quite hungry tonight. So I'm cooking this for my family, not just for the sake of a video. But so this is what I do. I don't fill it, but I put about a scoop, sometimes a little bit more than a scoop. And then I pop it in here, and I don't close the ends necessarily. I just kind of roll it up. And I just kind of like let it smear out. And then I roll it up, just like that. And then I stick it in here. And I just keep going. Sometimes my scoops don't come out quite as full as I like, so I just kind of grab just a little bit more. But if you make them, I mean, you can make them however you want. You can make them as full as you want them to be. The main thing is to making sure that you have enough to smother them. See, there's nothing really exact about any of this. We're just kind of rolling and smashing. Cramming them into this pot. So as you get a little closer, it's a little harder to roll it in the dish, obviously. And I have enough tortillas that I might pull out a little pan. Okay, here they are. And then I'm going to take this stuff that I held back. And then I'm just going to smother every inch that I possibly can between this chili and cheese. I don't like my tortillas being exposed at all. I like them all to be soft, no crunchy ends. But if you like that, you do that. Okay. Now I'm just gonna mix up all this cheese. I'm gonna go after it pretty hard with the cheese. Again, all this is preference. I mean, there's not like an exact recipe. Like I said, you can take away the mushrooms, add in jalapenos, take away the olives, whatever it is you like. If you want to add more beans, if you want to add, I mean, if you wanted to add cream cheese to the chili, you sure could, you know, make it a little creamier. So there we are. We're covered. So I'm going to pop this in the oven. A little extra stuff, so I just stuck it in a little tiny 8x8. I think it's an 8x8 dish. And used whatever leftovers I had to make another dish. don't know if you can see that, but I keep a pizza stone at the bottom of my oven just to kind of keep everything cooking a little more evenly. And now I'm gonna cook it 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is, until it melts. Now I'm gonna clean up my mess. And pretty soon, dinner's gonna be ready. And we're gonna serve it with sour cream, hot sauce, whatever toppings we want. Nice and melted, perfect. And my little baby dish with all the extra.
This is so good. We're gonna let this cool for just a little bit, and then we're just gonna serve it up like you would a casserole or enchiladas in squares or just in long tortilla rolls. It is such a good hearty meal. I'd say that this whole entire thing cost less than $20. It would feed a small football team. It is such a hearty, filling meal, and it really is better the next day for leftovers. It just really is so good to reheat. So this is my attempt at trying to plate this like some sort of professional, but I'm not. I'm just a mom. So we're gonna throw some sour cream on it. I like sour cream and Tabasco, sour cream and Louisiana hot sauce, whatever it is. Whatever your toppings are that you would like that kind of goes with chili is whatever you can do. So, like I said, under 20 bucks, it could feed a small football team. It is fantastic. I ended up getting an entire casserole dish plus the smaller one out of this, and we actually ate on this for a couple days for dinner and supper. So, give it a shot. I think your family would really like it. And just substitute whatever those extra things, the olives or mushrooms, it doesn't matter. Just do whatever you want. Oh, and make sure you like and subscribe and all that stuff.
Ever get a spatula that you just really like and it doesn't matter if it breaks? I have a few of those. Dad, do you like it?
I love it.